Hey guys, we got Coach Bill here, Peak Performance Martial Arts, and we were wanted to do just a little quick interview series about getting his black belt. What was that experience like? What did he have to go through? So, Coach Bill, what all just physically did your test entail? What did you have to do?
Well, the work up to it was a little bit different. It was a couple of classes. It was a lot of exercising, like doing a whole bunch of push-ups and running for a while.
So there was a high physical standard there that you had to hit.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, unfortunately, I actually missed my black belt test 3 times. And then on the third time, they surprised me with it, and I had to perform my forms, weapon in hand.
How many forms were there?
Well, I was tested on one. It was one at random, but I had to break down every single movement to what it was. Explain
Okay.
what we did in combat.
So you actually had to be able to relate it to real world self defense and fighting, not just kind of rote memorization of the form, right?
Right. It's not performing a dance
Mhm.
to say like dance steps.
You had to learn it and say, okay, why do we do this? What is this for, right?
Right.
We probably miss that in a lot of things when we're doing forms these days, huh?
Yeah, I kind of see that nowadays. Like we kind of rush and trying to give them more and more dance moves, and that's all the kids go through, and then they have trouble remembering because they don't understand what they're actually doing in each form.
And they probably can't put it to use in a fight either if they don't see the big picture, right?
Right, because back in the day, like a lot of forms were meant for memorization of your style. So doing the forms was an easy way to do 100 movements in like 1 minute rather than, oh, I have to do a back fist, I have to do a reverse punch, I have to do...
Right. That makes sense. And you said you had to do some sparring during the test also?
Yes, I sparred other the black belts, full contact. So, we did have a medic on site just in case I lost some teeth or anything.
Take somebody away on a stretcher?
Pretty much.
That's pretty intense, man. So a black belt test back then was a little bit more hardcore than you would expect, right?
Yep.
These days? And how old were you when that happened?
I was 22.
Okay.
Yep.
And do you think that you could have been able to do that when you were younger than that, or do you think that you needed a certain level of maturity to even maybe be able to handle it?
Well, with the black belt, you do have to have some type of maturity.
So maybe could 16-year-old Bill have passed that test?
16-year-old Bill probably would pass that test, but 16-year-old Bill would probably got in too many fights and ended up in jail.
Okay, so it took a certain amount of maturity then.
Yes.
Right, and maybe what about like 30-year-old Bill? Could he have done
30-year-old Bill might have not been able to do the run,
it?
but the fighting part would have been fine.
I see. And so do you think we need that? Do you think that physical standard is important for a black belt?
I think to have a certain level of cardiovascular or be able to control our how we breathe is very important in the fight. Because if you can't breathe, the fight's over.
Which is something that you may not learn just taking martial arts. You might actually have to do some running or some road work and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people I think kind of forget that aspect of martial arts, right? Bruce Lee talked about that. How it's not enough just to know technique. You got to be, you have to be somewhat athletic to pull these things off, right?
Yeah.
In general, right?
Yeah, I could teach anybody how to fight right now, and if I was what people would consider fighting dirty and the fight quickly, yeah, I could end the fight quickly. Could I go into a professional MMA fight right now and survive? No.
Right. But that's kind of a different thing, right?
Right.
Yeah. There's a violence of action there and maybe an element of surprise and things like that are not present in an MMA fight when you know what's going to happen and there's a set time limit, right?
Right.
That's interesting. Cool. What did you think you gained from the experience?
More confidence.
Yeah.
Self-awareness. Hey, this person may kick my butt. I might not want to talk back to this person.
Right.
But
you learned that you could kind of stick it out, that you'd be, maybe that you weren't made out of glass, right? That you were maybe a little tougher than you thought you were.
Pretty much.
Cool. That's cool, man. Anything else to add? Anything else about the experience you think would be important?
Don't give up.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Like, it's going to suck. Just like regular life, your regular job, everything in life, it's going to have a little bit of suck to it.
Yeah.
Just
I think every one of our students needs to hear that almost every day, right?
Yeah.
We need to tell ourselves that sometimes. Cool. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. We'll see you soon. All right.
Bye.